Okay, I think we're all set. We're on the air. Since Mr. Homekey's not here tonight, Dave, do you want to call the roll?
Start with Joe Hammer. No. Pete Lambruni.
Here.
Anthony Homekey. Christopher Brecklin.
Here.
Tom Dean.
Here.
Dave Drake here. Dave Edwards.
Here.
Tracy Gianfrido.
Here.
James Hughes. Joseph Ercolani.
Here.
Anna Laurie.
Here.
Paul Thompson.
Okay,
We got
thank
enough?
you.
We got
Yep,
enough.
thank you for that. So both of you will be seated tonight. Okay, both alternates. Anna? Very good. Since there's no old business, we're going to move to new business. First order of business is public hearing 2195-24Z. James Tarver, I assume that's you. Okay, seeking a special permit in accordance with section 36C1, which is about accessory building and structures. It's of the Wethersfield zoning regulations for a pavilion over 200 square feet at 179 Ridgecrest Circle. Okay, so our regulations, I think you're aware of this, require accessory structures to be 200 square feet or less, and if they're more, requires a special permit. That's why you're here tonight, right? Okay, would you like to come up? But since there's nobody in the audience, I don't assume there's going to be anyone speaking, so we'll have you come up first, state your name for the record, and explain to us, yes, right there at the podium. Explain to us what you'd like to do.
Hello. Okay. My name is James Tarver. I live at 179 Ridgecrest Circle. We put a in-ground pool in our backyard, and we've remodeled the backyard. And we would like to put a structure on one side of the house in my backyard. And I think the restrictions, when I checked, like you said, was I think 88 feet over. So that's why I'm here to seek approval, I guess.
Okay. Are there any questions from the commissioners?
Yeah, how far are you from the right with the little pavilion? From your right, the boundary? Can't quite get it on the map.
How far from the property line?
Yeah.
The right-hand side?
Does it show it here? Maybe I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, it's at
make it.
least 9 or 10 feet.
9, 10 feet?
Yeah, I think it was 5 was the
Yep.
allowance, what have you.
And you have the same, it's cut off, but you have the same fence of trees on this side?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's both. There's fencing and a tree line. So it's actually on the other side of the tree line.
And it's an open pavilion, right? There are no
Correct.
sidewalls or.
There's
curtains
one.
going in.
Yep. There's one wall in the back. What do they call that? It's all open, and then they close off one side, so like you can
Okay.
have a
Is
little
it
privacy.
the one side closed with?
It's a privacy wall. They call it actually.
Is it removable or?
The wall?
Or is it just solid? It's a solid wall?
It's yeah.
Okay, I got you. But the picture doesn't show it, that's why, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
actually
Yeah,
better.
no, that's
that
that's
picture.
fine. I got you. Thank
What
you.
would- the privacy wall would be up against the trees?
Correct. Yep.
And I have an additional question.
Sure.
Have you looked at how much, so I'm looking at the build-out section, the build-out map of your property.
Sure. Yep.
And so you have, it's only showing your backyard. You have your house, you have a deck, you have a patio, the pool, and I think there's something else there. It's round. I don't know what the round thing is.
The round thing, that's where they had put a temporary stockpile, I believe. They just put that in the drawing. Is it the bottom right-hand corner of the yard?
Top right hand.
I think it's stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the yard. The house is,
Upside down?
Oh, the bottom of the, I'm sorry, I'm at the top of the
Yeah,
picture.
yep.
Okay.
that was something they put, so just to give you a little background, we had to go through approval for the town before we could even put in the pool because we have a easement at the bottom of the yard, and we had to go work with MDC, the surveyor, have that all approved, signed off by legal and whatnot. That's why I think they had added some of those in the survey drawing, where the stockpile would go.
Okay.
So it's not there. There's nothing
Not
there
there
now.
anymore?
No.
Have you looked at like what, or the town, do they look at what portion of your yard is impervious or covered by, things like roofs and patios? Look at that at all?
No, I don't think. The deck that I believe is still on that drawing has been removed, so it's just like now it's just like a flat landing that they're going to put concrete on.
Oh, but it's still concrete?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you, I'm sorry, are you done, Tracy?
Yes.
Okay. Are you adding, is this going on top of an additional paved surface, or are you adding more paved surface area?
It's the patio so we ripped out the deck, we leveled everything out, and then once it warms up, the stamped concrete will go on, and the pavilion the posts would just go right on top of that.
Okay, but is it grass now, that area?
Right now it's sand because
And,
they just leveled it, and because of the weather they can't finish it until the spring.
It,
Is that your question? Sorry.
yeah, one other question was just, because to the same point, I think that you were asking, the requirements are that the maximum coverage of all accessory buildings and structures shall not exceed 40% of the required yard area. Has anyone,
So just
so that would include like the pool and all the decks and paved areas and?
40%. I don't.
Was that brought up? Did you meet with the town before you came here? Did you talk to anyone from the town?
Before the town, like which.
When you went in for your application, did you speak to anyone about our regulations?
Just Lynn, I think Lynn. Is Lynn?
Lynn? Okay.
Dom reviewed this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom did?
Did you speak to a Dominic, a fellow named Dominic? No?
No.
Yeah, the memo shows that there's only two considerations that were unclear to the planner, which you didn't meet with, but he reviewed your application. The two that he cited was, it wasn't clear if you had 5 feet to your property line,
Yes.
but you said you have 9 feet or
Yeah, it's
something
over
like that.
5 feet.
Yeah.
I measured it before.
And there was a second one here. What was the second item you had?
Show and note the number of outbuildings on the property.
Yeah, you can only have 3 outbuildings total on the property. And it doesn't show exactly what other outbuildings you have, other than what you sketched in here for years. Are there other outbuildings that you have in the backyard?
Outbuildings such as like a
Another
shed.
another shed, another,
There's a shed that's actually attached to the back of the house. It's very small. It's like it's already part
a
of the
shed
house.
roof?
There's
Right
nothing
there.
else. There's no other
Okay,
structures.
yeah, and I guess the question tonight that is being brought up, we're not sure if Dominic looked at that requirement. By adding this in your backyard, you're causing more impervious area. And between your house and any structures that you have on your property, I don't know how big your property is, you can't exceed 40%. In other words, 60%'s got to be grass or some material that will let water through it, and 40% can be impervious, like a roof or a concrete deck, or something like that. So do you have any idea on that?
I'd be very surprised if it was more than 40%. I don't have exact figures for that, but it was all grass. There's all drainage in the backyard now that they've installed when they were putting in the, re-leveling everything. There's nothing in the front yard, side of the house, in terms of structures
Okay,
with roofs or whatnot.
I think you got 0.3 acres, right?
Yeah.
Tom?
That was my consideration when I was reviewing, the documentation. You have for everything that you've got on your lot, you've got a fairly small lot, essentially a third of an acre, which
Big
comes
lot.
down to less than 15,000 square feet. And I don't know the footprint of your house, footprint of all the other structures, including your proposed structure, whether or not that's going to exceed that 40% limit. And, I would, I would be tending to favor your proposal, but that's an exception that our regulations require, and you haven't really demonstrated that you meet, those requirements. And I would be reluctant in voting, on this tonight myself until that issue is resolved. I think we need to have an answer.
Were they planning to do they're not planning on putting in the concrete or anything anytime soon because it's so
No.
cold out? Okay.
That's correct. Yep. Until
You also indicated there's also a stone construction on this part of the diagram. Are you still planning to
It's
go
a-
through with that?
The path? Is it a path?
Yes, it's a path. It
Yeah,
says-
it's actually been ripped up. It's not there anymore. There's
And you're not replacing it?
maybe a little walkway, but it's not like it wouldn't be concrete.
Yeah, it's not like 15 feet wide like it shows
No,
in this
no, no,
diagram.
no.
Okay.
I think the confusion here is that this drawing that he's showing us was previous work that was done when he put in the pool. I don't know when you put in this pool. So things have changed here that we don't know about, and he just sketched in an old drawing where he proposes to put the new building, which is that hand square there. So I think it would behoove you to maybe give us a better indication of what's there now, how much coverage you really have in square foot, and show exactly where the structure is, measured accurately to the property line, rather than just, a little sketch here in a corner of an old drawing.
Well, I can provide that.
I have a question, Peter. When he fills out the permit, does the town do a site visit?
When he builds out the what?
When he asked for the permit, or when he came to the town, do we
The
do a
shed?
site visit to go look at the backyard?
For the shed?
For the pergola or the, whatever you want to call it?
Pavilion.
Pergola, whatever. Yeah, I think, I don't think they go out to do that.
They don't go out.
No, I don't think so.
We don't go, so everything just, okay.
Depends on what the application's for and whether or not the planner feels that it's something they need to see. If it's pretty cut dry and they can look at the aerial photo and say, all right, I see where you're putting it. It's clearly more than 5 feet. You can actually measure right on the aerial photo.
Yeah,
And
okay.
if he shows the limits, it's not necessary to go out, they won't go out, but if it is, they will. It's one of those things,
Yeah.
if there's any question, they will go out.
Okay. I think Peter's 100% right. What we're looking at here is not indicative of what he has.
I mean, you have one commissioner having some reservations because of the old drawing and not clear if that requirement of 40% is met.
I wasn't aware,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like intentional. I mean,
Since you're not in a big rush here to construct, it seems,
he's not even
because of
near
winter.
It's buildings, he's not near it.
Yeah,
Excuse me, guys. What we could do is continue this meeting to the next meeting and give you a chance to work out those details so that it's clear to everybody exactly what you have and if you meet all the requirements. And I think you have to demonstrate that you're less than 40% coverage.
yeah, could you explain that to me then again? Because
Yeah.
this is honestly the first time I've.
I would just say, I'm pretty certain that the 40% has to do with structures. Patio is not a structure.
With the
Structures
roof
are
structures?
roof structures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sheds, garages, the pergola, those are all structures. A patio is not considered a structure for this. Patio is like,
I thought the 40% had to do with green space, no?
It says just buildings, but it
Just
does include the pool,
building.
because the pool counts as a structure.
the pool is a structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be the pool, the pergola, roof structure, your house roof structure, and any shed roofs that you have on the property.
And
Wouldn't even come close.
I don't think it comes close, and Don would have stated it if it did, because Don did review this, and he's pretty thorough, and so I'm pretty convinced that if he felt it was even close, he'd have gone out and measured it, and
he's allowed like 8,000 square feet here of building. We're not even anywhere near that. You're not even halfway to that. So I don't know why we waste his time. So I don't know.
And it looks like, it sounds
okay
like
with that?
with the easement, you did a lot of flood management already.
Yes. I mean, it took 4 months to get everything approved and and yeah, there's all different types of drainage and everything's been, considered, I would say. Except-
Okay, well, what we're discussing here is that since Dominic, who reviewed this, didn't flag it, most likely you're okay. So perhaps we don't have to push this point. How's the rest of the commission feel about that? Any other
I
reservations?
have no
from
issue with
anybody?
it. He's not even
No?
close. As long as he's got 5 feet and looks like he says, we can make a little notes to confirm he's over 5 feet because the map is screwed up. It looks like
I
he's
don't
10
mind
feet.
bringing, I can bring you, when I have to bring the sign back, in a day or so, I could bring more pictures or imagine, what would you like me to provide just to make you feel better about the property line, I guess?
I'm not sure we're ready to continue this meeting based on the discussion we've had so far. So hold off on anything. But should we decide that it's appropriate for you to come back and give us more information, if that's what we ultimately decide, you'd have to come back to a meeting and present your information at the meeting.
All right, okay. I got you.
Any other questions before we close the meeting? Any questions from you?
No?
Oh,
no, thank
okay. Have a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Okay. There was a motion and a second, so the meeting is closed now. So we're going to deliberate and discuss what course of action we want to take. So please take a seat.
Sure. I can stay in here, or you
Yeah,
need?
yeah, sure.
Yes.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret meeting. It's a public meeting. I think Dave is right. I mean, he's an engineer, and I trust engineers because I'm an engineer too. So-
I mean, the footprint of the
Yeah,
house
yeah,
is
I
not
think
even
you're
going to be
right.
2,000
Yeah,
square
yeah,
foot.
I think you're right. I mean, what could
It's
it?
not even close.
I mean, this house can't be more than a couple thousand square feet, and even with the pool, I think the 40% is probably not an issue. Though, it's not clear at all if he's got the 5 feet. He's kind of just mentioned he thinks it's.
Well, we can prove it based on having
Yeah,
5 feet.
I think we should. We should make sure that the motion includes that we definitely have a 5 foot as a matter of approval. So I think, in my opinion, I think we're ready to vote tonight. Tom, do you still have reservations based on what you've heard?
Actually, I do. It's not so much that I doubt the projection that our esteemed colleague has made with regards to the total square footage, but it is an unclear situation. And I tend to like to have things, buttoned up solid in terms of outstanding issues before, I would vote yea or nay on an issue. And it is the burden of coming forward with the evidence is upon the applicant. And the applicant has that duty in making an appeal to us for some action to demonstrate, precisely what he's going to do, what the effect is going to be, and how that is impacted by our regulations and how that conforms to our regulations. And I just don't think that that's been accurately demonstrated here. I don't think the applicant has been adequately, well-versed in what the requirements are and what his duties and obligations are with regards to the presentation that he has to make. For me, it boils down to, do we have, the calculations in terms of the accuracy of square footage of, of the lot, the square footage of the, the current and proposed build out upon that lot. And while it's probably under the 40% requirement, if I would, take my best guess, I would be fairly well convinced that it probably is under that, but it's a probability, it's not a certainty. And I'd really rather have the certainty of knowing that before I would take a vote.
Okay, understand. Any other comments from the commissioners?
I'll just add that, I did quick math. 40% of 0.31 acres is about 5,400 square feet. The house, even if you use the entire finished area of the house on our property card, is 2160 plus an additional 936 square feet. So we don't even if you include the entire finished area of the house, not just the footprint, it doesn't even come close to the
How
5,400.
about the pool?
Yeah, that's including the pool.
Oh, including the
Yep.
pool? Okay.
Could we accept as a requirement for the applicant as a condition that he provide, the missing data to make his application complete if we vote to approve his application?
Yeah, we could always add that
Have
as
that as a
a
condition?
condition, sure. That could always be brought up if so wish. Okay, thanks for
think
that.
that-
Thanks for that calculation, by the way. So you went and got the property card, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so that's pretty accurate.
Good.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve public hearing 219524Z, James Tarver, seeking a special permit according to sections 3.6.C.1 for a pavilion over 200 square foot at 179 Rich Crest Circle. And as part of his application, needs to show that he has at least 5 feet on the right side. I'm not sure if that's east or west. And 40%, the calculation shows the building area percentage of the lot meets the 40%.
Actually, the south.
South.
5 feet from the south line.
Do you understand the calculation we're looking for? So the stones you don't have are not, don't worry, it's just any concrete, house, pool, concrete, not stones.
Concrete's not included, Dave.
And water can't drop.
Concrete's not included? Okay, so that
Just
makes it
structures.
easier.
Just ask Chris, he'll email it to you.
House footprint, the pool footprint,
Shed.
your shed footprint, and your proposed pavilion footprint.
Yeah.
And any other structures that are built upon the property that, we haven't identified.
That's accurate. Good, thanks, Tom. Okay, we have a motion with 2 conditions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstentions? Okay, passes. So, congratulations. I think what we're asking you is to bring us evidence as a condition of disapproval continuing, bring us evidence that you have the 5 feet to the south line and that, as Tom pointed out, all the structures and coverage provided by those structures is less than 40% of your total area of the lot, which is 0.31 acres. So you should come back to the town with those 2, and then this will go in effect, provided those 2 conditions are met.
You just bring that to Lynn at the planning department. Okay, you don't have to.
No, fix your map. It's just cut off.
Yeah, the whole.
Just
your
get the whole
plot
map.
plan.
But what you have to do is locate your property line, and then whatever closest point it is to your structure, just measure that distance with a tape measure.
I measured it. I know it's good, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, once you take that measurement, then you put it on a sketch and bring it in.
You can actually if you don't have it, you can get a copy of your plat map from the building department. They'll make you a copy, and then you can just measure it off and show where it's going to be and show the distance. And Lynn can
And this
help.
would need to be provided on or before you apply for the building permit.
Yep.
No.
No.
Yeah. Sure. Yep.
Got it right.
You just. You've got your approval here as long as when you go to get your building permit for the structure, they're gonna ask you for these things because there was a condition of your approval. So you don't need it until you go for your building permit. They won't allow you to get the building permit unless you show those 2 things. And the planner signed off on it.
All right, good luck, and If you so wish, you could invite us over to your pavilion. We could check it out.
Nice pavilion.
All right, take care. Just as a matter of, just to be exact here and put it on record, we did have one letter from Linda Kuhl stating that she's not in agreement with the building because of the large permanent structure that he's proposing and closeness to properties, side lots, noise, potential, and so forth. So we'll put this on record as well. Okay. Any other business? We brought up?
Approval of minutes, I guess.
No other business, so we'll move on to minutes. December 3, 2024 minutes. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I accept.
You're going to motion to accept?
I motion to accept the
Okay,
minutes.
is there a second to the motion?
second it.
All right, there's a motion to accept and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right,
Abstain.
one abstention. Thomas abstained. All right, staff reports. Anything for us?
I'll just tell you all, so David Elder, our new town planner, did start this week. He has hit the ground running. He's been, actually, last week, hit the ground running, and, he's jumped right in. He's not here tonight because he actually had a pre-scheduled procedure today at the hospital, so, but he will be at your next meeting. And for those of you that don't know, David previously was the Director of Strategic Planning for Department of Transportation here in Connecticut. I had that role for several years. He's been with the department for 12 years. He's also been the contract planner for Ansonia. So he's run all their meetings, reviewed all their plans, provided all the staff comments for several years. He's also been in regional planning. So he comes with a full breadth of experience, and we're lucky to have him, and we're happy to have him on the team. So he will be at your next meeting. There are no items for the next meeting for the January 7th, so it looks like
Get a day off.
get a day off.
Okay. All right, thanks for that.
Just 1,000 Sassoon is not coming up next meeting? I thought, or was that?
That's the second meeting in
That's the second
January is when that's scheduled for public hearing.
All right,
So then, do we have a record then of the January 7 meeting being canceled at this point?
We'll send that out. I just want to let you know, because Lynn just said that
Okay.
as of the deadline, did not receive any applications for that meeting, so.
yeah, today was the deadline, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, okay.
Thanks.
It's nice to see the construction going on the South Stream with the bank and the new restaurant.
Yeah, it's.
Going up fast.
It is going up very fast.
Yeah.
And I'll say too, I just had a meeting with Economic Development Director Joya Zach today, and people are calling, asking for locations for things, and we're really running out of options for them.
Yeah.
We have a couple that, we've tried to fill a number of times, but the owners have been challenging.
Yeah.
But as far as vacancies, they're filling up very quickly, and people are they want to be here, and we're limited in space. But we showed a couple of new prospective businesses some locations this week. We have some more scheduled for next week. So
Nice.
It's an active time right now. So it's good.
Good tax revenue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But back to what Dave asked on the 1,000, if I may. Has this guy been active? Has he come in? Has he been talking to engineering? I mean, there were so many things that needed to be done.
Yeah, so we have had probably, including myself and all of the staff, building, fire marshal, planning, economic development, we've had probably 4 to 5 meetings with their team,
Oh, okay.
going back a year now, and explained to them exactly what they needed to do. They wanted to store some things in there initially. We got them the minimal approvals for that. They had to repair the roof, and they had to redo the sprinkler system. We got them to do that, and that was approved. But problem is they've been operating out of that building without your approval. What they're looking for is essentially, it was presented to us by them as a BJ's or Costco type model, but specific to Asian food. They, we said, well, that would be something that I think, we could probably work with the Planning and Zoning Commission and get you approval for, but you have to submit the plans, and this is what we need. We need, engineered plans. You got to deal with the parking issue. It's a difficult site for parking.
Right.
So you might need a variance there, so you have to have all that in place. And they just have been reluctant to bring everything. They've given us, bits here and there, but they haven't come close to meeting the standard. So we keep telling them, nope, go back, and then it's months. But in the meantime, there've been trucks in and out of there. We've gone in, we've fined them, we've told them to stop. And most recently, staff went through, and there were customers like shopping down the aisles. So they've been operating. And so the fire marshal gave them an order to vacate, went back 2 days in a row, and they still had people coming and going. And so we have actually, our attorneys have filed court action against them, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, they're still scheduled to come before you. So that's where we're at. I'll give you another update is 341 Jordan Lane, the old nursing home.
Yes, I heard about that.
That was under new ownership for the last year and a half or so, but the existing tenant was still there and wasn't willing to leave and relinquish their lease. That was in court for several months. That was finally settled, and the new owner has full control of the site now, and we're meeting with him in early January, and he's going to be coming in very soon for plans to demolish the buildings on site and redevelop the entire
He wants to
site.
do housing, right?
Yes.
What type of housing now?
I think he's looking at apartments and maybe some potentially some mixed use as well, some retail.
Commercial type thing?
Yeah, kind of like a Borden type situation, I think is
Yeah.
what he's kind of thinking.
That'll be
But
nice.
Probably smaller scale, but yeah.
Good.
That'd be nice, very nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No question.
All right. There's some correspondence here you may want to look at. Commissioner training memo. Dave, you asked about what training we needed. I know, Tracy, you were concerned as well. Did we ever get any?
I talked to Lynn about that. So you have I think it's pretty well explained in the memo, but, so I have like a year from when I became it. It's not a calendar year, it's a year from when you become a member.
Okay.
So the March training that I'm taking, and I don't cover you, and then you have a certain number of hours you have to do, I think every 4 years or something if you're a standing member.
Okay.
Yeah, for an additional, so after your initial training, all members must complete 4 hours of training over 4 years. So,
That's pretty easy.
But you
yeah,
need to
so
do
if you
one
went to the
thing a
March
year,
thing,
though,
it covers you for
which I
4
gotta
years.
do. I gotta do
Right.
it.
The March one is another 4-hour one. It's an all-day one.
Thought so, isn't it?
The one we went to was all day.
Yeah.
Did DAC cover it
Almost
or
on
no?
Yeah,
Hard
that
day.
was a 4-hour one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. Might have it at home.
And you can also do the training online, right? Tracy, did she?
There are trainings online as well through UConn.
Okay. All right.
To do it online, she did say you need to make sure that they probably email you a certificate or something. That's how they do it when I'm at work. And you just have to make sure to get it to her because the state doesn't always remember to send it to her.
On a screen, photograph it.
Yeah, oh, is it? Yeah.
No, I'm just telling you, as an architect, I do that. If there's something on a screen, I take a photograph.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes.
You too,
See you in
Happy New
late,
Year.
yeah, Happy New Year, late January, I
The
guess.
March one, that one right there.
Hopefully we'll have
Are you taking that?
No, it's actually.
I know you get a copy. You got a copy? You have a copy?